Clink. There it is. Well, isn't that interesting? So, playing around with settings. Because, okay, let's be honest. I happened to pay attention this time. I'm not playing around with settings. I didn't go looking for issues. I plugged in my headset. I hit the monitor thing, the button, so that I can, monitor my audio. And it sounded way more noisy than normal. It sounded like just whooshing with the sounds of the room. That didn't sound right. So, smartly, I thought to myself, what if it's picking up the phone's microphone and not the headset's microphone again? So, instead of visually confirming this, I held the phone up to my face and started moving it back and forth fast while making loud noises. And it's hard when you have something coming out your mouth not to modulate your pitch with it. You have to go and thus creating the very effect I'm trying to see if the phone is having effect. You know what I mean. So, but still, I was able to figure out, hey, I think it's not using my headset microphone. Did I then look and see if that was the case? Because it says there's a little readout on the screen. No, I started tapping the phone to see if it was picking up, the phone microphone. And it was. Those taps were loud. Now that I had two incontrovertible points of data, did I decide to look at my phone and notice, hey, it says it's using phone microphone. So I unplugged the headset, plugged it back in, switched to iPhone headset. I don't know what the issue is. If I have the headset plugged in and open the app, it doesn't acknowledge one, or maybe I plugged in after the app was open. I don't know. I don't know how it worked. Point is, I noticed it. And as such, I was able to give you the high quality audio that you're currently listening to. You're welcome. You are incredible. Welcome. I'm sorry, again, the French. It is a language I just can't. I'm sure there are rules and that they could be picked up. I get that. It's on me. I know this. It doesn't seem intuitive. It is, it's a lovely language. There are lovely people. My incredibly brief time in France, which I may detail at some point, involved me being in the worst goddamn mood ever, and as such, just putting off an air of prickly go-awayness. And my experience was, even though I was an ass, the French were lovely. They were super nice to me. But the language is just intimidating, I think is probably the best word for it. It scares me. There's so many pitfalls and silent tricks and unspoken words. Or not unspoken words, fucking... This is not a Shakespearean tragedy of missed opportunities. No, there's unspoken letters and sounds and consonants. So that's, the French. I haven't been to Paris yet. Would like to go. Hopefully, one day, COVID will be manageable. It's not going to be over, I get that, but it will be manageable. And hopefully one day I can go. In the meantime, my friend and I are trying to plan a trip for Toronto. That'll be the first post-COVID sojourn. It's a little French there. I think. Honestly, I don't honestly know. I think it is. But yeah, I love Canada, and I've always wanted to go to the East Coast Canada. Me, living where I do, of course, I've been through West Coast Canada and Vancouver, which is lovely. But I want to check out, come on, Toronto. It just seems so cool. The Toronto of song and story and film. Many television programs. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. I think perhaps one of my favorite movies, Better Than Chocolate. Product of its time, I'm aware. Does it hold up? I've read that it does not. I still love it, so there it is. Definitely set in Canada. I'm not sure, honestly, where it is set. If it's Toronto, that's exciting. I could go Google it. I've got a phone in my hand. I could literally Google it. I don't have to go anywhere. but I'm not going to. You know why? Because it's the kind of pedantry I'm trying to avoid. We don't need that anymore. We're past that. We're, what do you call it? Mature. I need to run for the hills and the hills of the internet, the hills of being right. Look, I'm sleepy, okay? I wasn't going to say anything, but you pulled it out of me. You wrested the secrets from my lips. I'm sleepy, and as such, a little prone to burbling. It's a reference to The Parent Trap, isn't it? You're burbling. I haven't burbled in years. That's interesting. Well, I find it interesting. Shut up. You haven't even heard it yet. I'm sorry. It's not you. It's me. When I watched The Parent Trap as a young child in the 80s via the Disney Channel, this is long before the remake, of course. Heck, it was probably even long before... It wasn't long before The Parent Trap 2. A bizarre, weird Haley Mills made-for-TV movie with that girl who played the 80s Ramona in it. It was a lot of fun. I remember really, for whatever reason, really liking it. Anyways, the original Parent Trap, you had Susan and Sharon, right? One was from Boston and one was from California. Both with British accents, although one was far more British. And I think it was Sharon was from Boston, right? But because of that little British accent, I swore Boston was in England. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I know why. It's the accent. But, hey, I was like 7. Things were a lot more... It was a strange time. I remember at one point thinking rain didn't come from clouds. It came from space. Duh. I honestly have no idea where that thought came from. That was just my assertion of the world. Maybe I had been on a plane and we'd flown through the clouds. I don't know. But I know I was having a conversation with the next door neighbor child who was, younger than me. So he was like much less worldly, 6 to my 7, maybe even 5. He was saying that rain came from the sky, or from the clouds. I was like, no, it doesn't. It comes from space. 7? What the hell? What was I smoking? This is the same kid, me, who thought other countries were planets? Other planets were countries. I can make sense, but other countries, like if you went to China, you'd have to go to the planet of China. What the fuck? So yeah, I'm not one to be trusted with cosmology. Who knows what I can come up with? Especially now when you're older and you think you know things. That's when it becomes a lot more insidious, because those ideas that you don't know, that you've just manufactured, are just shifted in among the rest. And it's like playing Spot the Pod people. The pod idea. The podcast. That makes no sense. That was a lazy-ass word association. Doesn't even... And you add a little bit of spooky voice. Like a podcast you're listening to could be a pod person podcast. Is that a podcast hosted by a pod people? Or a podcast that's been replaced by an alien podcast? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It was lazy. That's the problem with those lazy word association, not quite pun jokes or humors or insults, where people just take the first observable thing about a person and just announce it, and that's the insult. What? Why? What? Look, clearly what you're trying to convey is you think less of me as a person, or whomever you're speaking to. But just say fuck you, okay? If it's a racial epithet? I've seen the word and I think I've heard it, but I've never felt comfortable saying it. It's like it's French. Whatever. If invective, oh, ha, sidestepped. Take that. So if it's a racial invective that you feel like hurling at someone, I guess, other than being a lowbrow, small-minded racist, you also want to convince the person that you're speaking to that you have so little regard for them that you have no problem crossing social boundaries to do so. I think that was a whole thought. If it wasn't, I think you're with me. Because I believe that you're a smart person. That's why. You've listened for this long, so clearly you're intelligent. Am I right? So it matters to you that they know how little you think of them. I guess. It's the one that makes sense. After we've allowed for the small-minded racist bit, right? That is allowed, that is accounted for. So I'm trying to like mathematically deconstruct this. All that left to me, all that makes sense after we've taken that chunk out of it, is, hey, I want you to know I don't like you. That's why I'm choosing these words. Just say fuck you. It is. You're not being clever. You're not. You think you are, but you're not. You think. An example, I was listening to Yo, Is This Racist? And the host, Andrew T., talked about an Asian experience. I don't remember if it was his or if it was a caller's or even a friend's that he was bringing up. But the point is, as an Asian, they've experienced the insult of being called Jackie Chan. And it's just mind-boggling to me. It is gobsmackingly lazy. Yes, I'm acknowledging the awfulness of the racist aspect. It's not what I'm talking about currently. The laziness to try to put yourself in the shoes of that person, the insulter, that I so am unhappy with you, person in front of me, that I'm going to casually dismiss you by calling you a name of a person. What? This is so stupid. Doesn't even begin to cover it. It's laziness. It's what at that point. Why are you even bothering to insult? Because you're putting more work into being lazy. If laziness is your goal, you could walk away from it, and that's why that's when it becomes stupid. But it's not stupid because it's stupid. It's stupid because it's so lazy. It's work, which is this sort of threefold, like, fit into a legal envelope, trifold kind of. It's dumb. Okay, you couldn't see what I was trying to, like, make it work with my hands, like I was folding, and my God, I need some coffee. I'm going to have some coffee. Ugh. The break room coffee is at least fresh. Oh man, it hits your taste buds, and you're like, that's bad enough, but then you feel like going down, and sometimes it's cold, it's the dead of winter in the frozen, frigid north, and you come inside and your glasses fog up, and your nose burns because of the temperature change. You're like, oh, and someone you love hands you a steaming mug of hot cocoa. You take a sip and you feel the warmth spreading all the way down. Like now, I mean, you have to get the balance just right, because if you swig it right away, you're going to feel burn all the way down, and that sucks. Cocoa's so hot that your throat is scalded before you realize that it's, too hot. But if you blow on it too much, you can also, the sip will do nothing except fill your mouth with tepid cocoa. No, you have to get it just right. But if you do, and that swallow, that feel the warmth just elevating down your esophagus and warming you from the inside out, that's amazing. However, when it's bad coffee, so bad that your taste buds recoil, there's something unpleasant about the affirming sensation of the warmth in your stomach, as if your body is trying to say, it's inside us now. That awful coffee, it's inside us. You can't run from it. So in summary, don't be racist. Drink good coffee. Was there another thing? For some reason, apropos of nothing at all, honestly, I'm having a memory of traveling to my aunt's, technically my aunt and uncle's house, but for some reason I always think of it as Aunt Joni's house. But traveling there for Christmas. And we were living in Phoenix at the time, and they had moved to Utah. We'd all been in Phoenix, Mesa, roughly area together, but they had moved from Mesa to Utah. I remember my mom being sad about that. My mom didn't have a huge support group. She'd moved to be with her support group, and then when Joni and Matt had moved, she was a little like, oh, less people. She's doing fine. Don't worry about it. But we all went to Utah for Christmas, which I'm thinking about in retrospect. They had like 4 or 5 kids. I don't know which one they were on at that point. My mom had 3 kids. Her brother had 2. Only Joni was the one with a, 2-parent household. Everyone else had gone their several ways. And yet my dad did come for Christmas. So my mom's ex-husband was there too. It's crazy. It's crazy how big it was. But that's not the specific part of the memory I'm remembering. No. The specific part of the memory I'm remembering is how my aunt had a Dean Koontz book called Oddkins, which was a long, low picture book. I mean, it was a story, but formatted like a kid's book, but it was not a kid's book. It's kind of like Toy Story, in that there were toys from a magical toy shop that had to go on an adventure, or they'd been thrown away because the owner had died. Somehow they were on the move. And I think they were evil toys. And there was a drifter who was somehow possessed, maybe by the devil, maybe by a generic evil spirit. For whatever reason, the evil spirit was out to get these toys, which was, sure, okay, buddy. But there's a creepy ass. One of those you're reading along, and this picture freaks you the fuck out, and you keep going on, but your mind keeps going back to it, and you keep turning back to it. And you're like, nope, that was as scary as I thought it was. And you can't really get on with the story because that picture's just burned into your brain. And so it's this drifter guy. It's either at the moment of possession or some part of him is trying to reckon with the possession or something like that. But he's in a truck stop bathroom or a diner bathroom, and he's looking in the mirror. And in the mirror is either the face of the demon. The reflection is him, but the face is the demon, or it's him reckoning with the demon, or God, it's just freaky. And that is what I was just thinking of. Why is that? Did I walk by a reflection and cast myself in the reflection and think, that might have been it. I was just walking by the door, which, has a big glass pane in it, and the hallway's dark outside, so I'm the only one here. I'm the only one here talking to myself, at least. I hope I am. This started with a recap, didn't it? And now we're all worried about possession? Ugh. I mean, I'm not super worried about possession. I think I got it handled. But it's creepy. It's a creepy thought. How do you come back from that? Just stuck in this funky quagmire of thinking about possession. Famous possessed stories. You got your Exorcist. All of Me, if you want to be cheeky. Read a book last year called My Best Friend's Exorcism. Did not like it at all. Actively hated that book. 2 thumbs down. Not a fan. Repossessed. I want to be airplane parody movie of exorcists, including, Star Return by Linda Blair. Silly ones like Shocker and Fallen, which had very similar storylines. That body, jump from body to body kind of possession. Though I think It Follows did that kind of, not knowing who your enemy is, did that story much better. Yeah, It Follows was terrifying. I'm spiraling out now. What's that one that everyone liked that I didn't? Oh, the Patrick Wilson one. Insidious. I really wanted to like it. Boring. I can't remember. Was that haunting or just possession? Or was that possession or just haunting? And then you got the fucking Annabelle thing. Oh, Annabelle. Fuck you, you malevolent little fucking nexus of evil. I don't think so. It's almost up there with ghosts. There's something tangible about Annabelle, that's a little creepier. But fucking hauntings, man. Nope. Have we talked about this? I can't remember if we talked about this or if this was one of the lost episodes. But look, the ghost hauntings piss me off. That's the point. Maybe we'll save it for Halloween. We got a while until we can talk about spooky topics. We'll keep it sedate. Point is, don't be racist. It's lazy. You want to insult someone, just say fuck you. Or, better, why don't you try listening to what they have to say and seeing if you can't change your mind. Just a thought. Just throwing it out there. Yeah, I feel like I've gone off the rails. It happens. I burbled. Parent Trap. Call back. All right. That fucking Odkins book just totally threw a wrench in my own works. I have to go think about what that means. Anyways, it's a weird book. Dean Koontz, not a favorite author, but that one at least stuck with me. We're calling this done. Generic sign-off.